Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Tino's Time Wrestling. And on this episode, we're going to preview all the action that is going to go down in Saudi Arabia in the most dangerous structure in WWE history, the Elimination Chamber. Yeah, the Elimination Chamber is heading over to Saudi Arabia for the first time ever. Should be interesting. We got 6 men and 6 women. Who's going to walk out and who's going to survive and who's going to be one step closer to being and main eventing WrestleMania in Dallas, Texas. But before we get to being able to previewing all the matches, let's bring on our very special guest today for this episode of Tino's Time Wrestling. On Instagram, he is the real belt collector. He is my friend. I ordered some stuff from him from Facebook that we'll be seeing on a future episode of Tino's Time Collection series. He is Brandon Douglas. Welcome, Brandon, to Tino's Time at the Real Belt Collector on Instagram. How are you doing today, my man?
Doing great, man. Thank you so much for having me on, man. It's a pleasure.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on. And what I gotta say, man, that belt is awesome. I talked about it a minute when I did the introduction before, how you collect belts and stuff like that. But that belt is awesome. What belt you want to tell the people what belt that is exactly for everybody that might not know?
If you guys don't know who I am a major belt collector for all authentic belts from back in the day. These were actually the 2001 Figures Inc. European Championship. Yeah. I have the complete set. I'm actually one of 4 now in the whole country that have the whole complete set. So that's one of the things that kind of made me up and coming with the belt game a few years ago. So it's just been a crazy ride.
Hey, that's awesome though. You're the belt guy.
Yeah, that's it. I'm the belt guy.
Hey, that works though. Hey, everybody's got their own things. I mean, look at me. I've got figures and pops and everything.
But you're the fig collector, man.
I'm the toy guy. But before we get too off topic, and we'll continue to talk about the belts throughout the episode, let's get into everything that's going to go down at the Elimination Chamber in Saudi. Can Lita defeat Big Time Bex? Roman or Oldberg? Can Roman defeat Oldberg and send him into retirement? We have 2 Elimination Chambers. Who is going to WrestleMania and who is going to main event in Dallas, Texas? We have 8 matches to get to talk about. So let's not waste any more time and get right into these matches. And like I was talking about before we started recording, there's going to be some matches we're going to talk about for a little bit of time and some matches that I just feel like aren't that important. And they're going to be squash matches, or, they might not be very good because, we know how Vince is. But the first match I want to talk about on the card, it's Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss. And I don't know if it's I know it's a no disqualification, but I'm not sure if it's a false count anywhere. I'm not too sure, but I know it is a no disqualification match. And how do you feel about did you watch Drew McIntyre when he first started and everything, back when he was the chosen one?
Oh yeah, I followed him through when he was WWE and then went over to NXT, and then they brought him back into WWE again. And his feud with Bobby Lashley, that was pretty iconic for him, I think. And
yeah, it was. That really made him, and I feel like they even said it during the pandemic. He literally carried the pandemic era of WWE and was that guy that when we go back and remember, we're gonna remember Drew. And it kind of is sad that he is in this kind of a rivalry now, because I don't really like Madcap Moss or Happy Corbin. I wish Baron Corbin would just go back to the lone wolf. I'm kind of over whatever they're trying to have him be. Do you have any idea what they're trying to have him be? Maybe you could have some insight, because I have no idea, man. I'm over it.
He's gone through a few characters now in the last few years, and it's hard to try to pick one, because keep keep one. Everybody, I'm sure, has their favorites, but
Oh, I know. It's just
in
it's
that,
not okay. So I don't want to spend too much time on this match, and I don't know how long it's going to be. This is one where I feel like it is no disqualifications, and I just hopefully it is good, and hopefully they beat the crap out of each other in Saudi Arabia, and that'd be good. But I'm taking Drew McIntyre to win no matter what. Are you there with me? Do you think Madcap could pull off the upset in Saudi?
unless he gets help from somebody outside the ring. Other than
Hey,
that, yeah,
I wouldn't doubt it, man. I would not doubt it. The way
yeah.
the way they bury people now, if Drew got lost, I would not be surprised at all. It's so sad, man. It really is. The next match, though, speaking of titles, the first match that I think that will be on the we're not doing this exactly in the order I think how it's gonna play out. But the first match I do think that's gonna be for a title that will be on the card is the Usos versus the Viking Raiders for the SmackDown tag team titles. Do you have any tag titles while we're
Yeah, actually, if you want to do WWF, I have the WWF Attitude Era tag belt.
like the world title ones, like back like when like Matt and Jeff Hardy, or like older ones?
yeah, Attitude Era, yeah,
Okay.
Attitude, yeah, anything with the WWF logo. That's the rarity of it. I have the complete set, so yeah, I do have two of those. My brother-in-law has the other one, and then I
That's
have
awesome.
both versions, three versions of the WCW tag team belts also.
That's awesome, man. I did
Thank
that's so cool. I I know it's not the same, but I used to have the toy belts that they sold at Toys R Us, and me and my friends would have tag team title matches, and we would do Falls Count Anywhere in our house. And me and my neighbor would be like tag team champions, and we would just run around and hit everybody with the titles. It was great.
Yeah,
But
those are the highlights, man. Those are the highlights as a kid, man. Having those, styrofoam belts running around,
no,
thinking you're, the best ever.
we were talking about a story that we might have to get into before we like when we take a break, because we'll take a break because there's just too many matches. You told me before we started recording, maybe we'll let you tell the people. But the Usos versus the Viking Raiders, I think will be a very good tag team match. I think that like both teams are very impressive, and the Usos have been tag team champions forever at this point. They've been by Roman's side, and I don't know, honestly, I don't see anybody beating them. Like, do you? I love the Viking Raiders, and I like what, like, at least they're being used now. They're not being used like what they once were in NXT, but at least they're being used. But I don't see the Usos losing this match at all. I don't see it. Do you?
I actually, I hope the Viking Raiders win. Actually,
I hope they do too. Like, I would not be mad at all. I just don't think the Usos are like, I don't know, man.
no, but yeah, usually how this thing goes, especially overseas, I don't see them losing the belts, but anything could happen nowadays.
Any given day. Hey, Vince could probably change it right now. He's like, oh, I got a good idea in my head right now. Let me call Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah, since Shane got fired.
Shit, Tony Khan's got another big announcement for AEW this week, so maybe Shane O'Mac will come out. If I hear that Money, Money, Money song play, man, I'm just gonna laugh. It would be so funny. Wouldn't it be great if he came out and been like, Vince, I'm taking over AEW? I would just, bro, the memories of of him going to WCW and doing that it would be awful. But yeah, like I said, I think the Usos are going to win. Are you taking the Usos, or are you taking the Viking Raiders in this?
I'm going to take the Usos.
Are you okay? So, well, the Usos still your tag team champions, I guess. The next match we're going to talk about on the card, it is Rey Mysterio with Dominic Mysterio versus The Miz with his lovely wife, Maurice. And this has kind of been going back and forth. And I don't know if you saw SmackDown, but when The Miz made that comment about Eddie Guerrero and said, maybe Eddie is really your son because he's a little bit taller, man, that just brought back so many memories, because Dominic is one of those kids that because he's right around my age. I think he's like 20. Isn't he like 26, 27? Right around there? I'm 25.
Right.
But yeah, I remember when he was like little blonde kid running around with his dad and everything. And when they did that rivalry with the custody at SummerSlam with Eddie And it was just awesome. And just, you know, it's nice that they could still bring up Eddie. And even though I guess it's not in a great way, it was kind of funny to see. And it's kind of just full circle. But I don't know how this match is going to go. I feel like somebody is going to get involved. And I'm waiting for the moment for Dominic to turn on Mysterio. I don't know why, but I feel like that is a WrestleMania match that we could see. Because like we were talking about, there could be 16 matches at WrestleMania. And I think that, you know, this could be one of them. Do you see like this being like one of those matches that ends in like one of those where like somebody gets involved and somebody gets thrown out and then somebody like picks up a quick pinfall? I don't know. I just don't feel like they're gonna give this match too much time.
Well, I'm back to what you were talking about just a second ago. I don't, if hopefully that was scripted when the Miz said that about Eddie Guerrero. God rest his soul, with transpired over, with all that Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh, that was awful, man. I still remember when that happened, and I literally sat up and like mumbled in my head EDDIE just like all night, just Eddie, and it was weird. I don't know. I always remember that. Or yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was, but it's just like I don't know.
But yeah, and then with your next follow-up question, actually, I am a huge Rey Mysterio fan. I had, like I told you previously,
I love Rey.
In 1995, even before that, when he was he had did a stunt for ECW before going to WCW. His first match was Monday Night Nitro in Miami. He had faced Dean Malenko when Dean Malenko was a new cruiserweight champion. That was the first time I had watched his match, and I had followed him throughout his whole career. And there was a WCW event I had went to, and his wife and Dominic was still a baby and was literally in her arms. She was holding him. So that's how long I've seen Dominic grow from
that's just awesome
to now. So it's pretty cool. And I know, to your third question, I know
I asked a lot of questions. Sorry.
I know Vince had they had talked about when Dominic had was first introduced that they wanted to do a turn on your his dad thing storyline, and Vince McMahon had killed it. So I don't think right now that it would happen unless, like you said, something chaotic happens. Maybe Edge comes and interferes with the match, or something in that sense.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the Edge. I kind of forgot about it for a second. That's right. That's right. They did just, yeah. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And well, no, you're good. And also with that intergender match, also you're having his wife face, two males. You could see possibly her faking an injury and somebody.
Well, I don't think she's competing. She's just standing on the outside.
So it's a 2-on-1 match.
No, it's just Rey versus the Miz.
Oh, okay.
But the Dominic will be on the outside for Rey, and Maurice will be on the Miz's side. That's my bad. Maybe I should have been more clear.
All right. I was like, man, they're having an intergender match. I was like,
man, I wish those were so cool back in the day, man. No,
that's what I thought.
It's Mysterio versus the Miz. That's why I was saying I feel like somebody's gonna get involved, and like the Miz is gonna, or Maurice is gonna cost Rey, or Dominic's gonna cost something, or
you could see something happen like that. That's a good.
My bad. Oops. That would be dope though to see an intergender match. But I'm taking Rey to win this match. I love my man Mysterio. I don't know if you can see it, but this is probably one of the most, like, in the back of me, I have a ring rage, Rey Mysterio. It comes with the cruiserweight title. It has got to be like the most like valuable and probably the longest item I've had. And I've kept it in this good of condition. Is probably one of the few things I've had that I've kept in good condition from like my childhood. But yeah, I was just, man, I love Rey, and I don't know. I hope he gets one more run. They were talking about it. I saw like on like a Facebook thing. I really do hope Rey does get like one more run at a like title and like a championship.
Yeah, me too. I hope so also, but I don't see that happening. But yes, wishful thinking, and we can only hope and pray.
That's all, hope and pray with WWE. That's all we can do now at this point.
That's all you can.
McMahon in charge. The next match, though, on the card that I want to get to before we actually get to the 4 big matches that I feel like are on this card and everybody is looking forward to, we have Ronda Rousey and Naomi versus Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville in a tag team match. We're going to make sure that's clear. It's a tag team match. Holla, holla, holla. Like Teddy Long likes to say. But there's one caveat. We were talking about it for a second, and you went over and skimmed through SmackDown and everything. Ronda Rousey has to compete with one hand behind her back. And apparently she's okay with that. And I guess Ronda with one hand is still scary. I feel like Ronda with two hands is kind of scary. Or with no hands. But yeah, I don't know what this tag team match is. I would have rather seen Naomi versus Sonya Deville in some type of a match that wasn't some just some promotion thing that they were gonna do. But maybe it's a warm up for Ronda, I guess, for Charlotte. I mean, I don't know. But what do you think's gonna happen in this tag team match? Do you think it's gonna be good, or we're just gonna watch Ronda beat the crap out of both of them?
Well, seeing Sonya Deville with the arm sling tonight on SmackDown has to raise some eyebrows. I think maybe she's faking the injury to, maybe somehow get a step ahead of them at the end of the match or somehow, some way they're, it's going to have an effect on the match to where, they're going to pull it off, unfortunately. So I got Charlotte Flair and, her winning. But I wish, wishful thinking again, Ronda will figure out some way to maybe pull off a crazy stunt. And, you never know what can happen right now.
Always. But yeah, I'm going to go with Ronda and Naomi to win this match. I don't think that Ronda's going to lose. I don't see Ronda losing in WWE anytime soon. No. She better beat Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania.
Single match, no, but with the tag team, that's the only reason why I think I can see that happening, just to build the feud even more with Ronda and Charlotte.
So who are you taking to win?
I'm taking Charlotte.
Oh, okay. We're on opposite sides for this one. Okay. Yes. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on that when I do my post show. I'll have to keep an eye on see who got more match wins. But yeah, so I guess we're different on that, and we'll have to see what happens. Man, I cannot get over though. For a second, I can't get over how early this pay-per-view is on. I don't want to get up this early. I get it's not that early, but it's too early for me. I like sleep, and I like 7 o'clock pay-per-views. It literally the pre-show starts 11 o'clock here in Chicago, or right? Yeah, right. Because you live in Chicago, right?
No, I'm in Nashville.
Nashville. Okay, that's right. 10. Okay, that was somebody else I was thinking about. Okay, so what is the time difference? Is there a time difference, right? In Nashville?
I think we're on the same time.
Okay. So. Well, what time is it by you right now?
It is 11:24.
Okay, yeah, we are on the same time zone. All right, well, the pre-show starts at 11, or no, 10. Yeah, 10, and the main show starts at 11. So it's going to be a real early morning. But the four matches that are after the 4 that we just talked about, because I feel like those are the 4. I don't know which order they're going to go into, but I feel like those are the 4 that they're going to go on to start the show. And they might even start it with an elimination chamber. They seem to do that in the past. And I kind of hope they don't. But if they do, I feel like the women's will be first, because I feel like they just want the men's. And they're saying that they have some big swerve supposedly at Elimination Chamber that nobody is expecting. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe you could think of something that we could say when we get to that match, but I don't know what that swerve could be. But the first match out of those 4 I want to talk about is the women's championship. We just talked about the women's tag match. Lita versus Becky Lynch, the big time Bex, whatever she's calling herself now, is a match that I never thought I'd want to see. But now I really want to see it, and I want to see Lita win. I don't know how you feel about this, and obviously you've watched I watched Lita growing up and everything, but you remember Lita and everything like that. Do you think Lita has a shot at beating big time Bex?
I've seen some crazier things happen the last few years with wrestling. She is definitely a fan favorite. In and out, watching her grow up, her, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy,
Oh,
Uh,
the Team Extreme, man,
yeah,
that's all I
that
wanted. Man, I had the sleeves, I had everything. It was
yeah.
beautiful.
But Becky Lynch is just coming back. She's a hot commodity with the fans. You can't really. I don't see her losing the belt anytime soon. It's probably gonna be she'll probably be another Roman Reigns, hold it for
Oh
over a
man,
year.
she literally has had the title before she was pregnant, and the only reason why she literally had a 9-month break and then came back and was champion. And the one thing is, and I'll give once we get to the women's chamber match, which we'll talk about next. I'll tell you who I think is gonna win, and I feel like that they kind of set it up like when she first returned, but now they're finally going to follow through with it. But I kind of hope Lita wins. Like she says that she has one more run, and I don't know. I would like to see it happen, but like you said, I don't see Becky losing anytime soon. So my heart wants to go with Lita, but my gut, I'm gonna be smart and I'm gonna go with Becky. Big time Bex is gonna keep the title because I don't know if you noticed, but if you have went back and watched any of my shows, I'm awful at predictions. I suck. Every prediction I pick is usually wrong. So don't listen to what I have to say. That's what I've just learned. Whatever I think I've learned about maybe taking the people that I don't want to win, and maybe then they'll lose. So maybe that's what will happen here. But I'm still gonna go with Becky to win this match. I think it will be a good match, though. I think Lita can still compete better than people think that she actually can. You know what I mean? Where it's she could
I
probably
agree.
get in the ring and still beat somebody's ass better than somebody that has been, it just, yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of the women, let's talk about the women's elimination chamber match now. And the 6 women that are competing, do you know the 6 women that are competing in the chamber?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna tell the people anyway. The winner will
Who are
receive.
they?
Yeah, who? Like Kofi Kingston. The winner will receive a Raw Women's Championship match. So this is where I feel like this is kind of they've been setting up something maybe for a while, but we'll have to see. We have Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan, gotta love Liv Morgan. We have Nikki ASH, almost a superhero. I wish for the love of God that she'd go back to being the psycho Nikki Cross that was Insanity and in NXT and was the good at Nikki Cross, not whatever the hell Vince thinks that this is good shit, and it's not. We have Rhea Ripley. We have the Badass. We have the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair. Or no, wait, yeah. I was thinking of legit boss. I missed Sasha, man. But I wanted to make sure I said that right. Well, yeah, we got Bianca Belair. Speaking of Bianca Belair, I don't know if you collect Funko Pops, but they just dropped 15 Funko Pops on Amazon, WWE, Walmart, and GameStop. And your boy Tino has a problem and collected them and pre-ordered them all. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah, I couldn't help myself, man. They're all so cool. But we also and the last member that we have is Dewdrop. I was talking to one of my dad's friends, and my dad's friend is one of the guys that when I was growing up, he'd come over for the WrestleManias, the pay-per-views. He would funny story. We'll talk about him in a minute before we talk about the main event. We'll talk about Undertaker, and I'll tell you a funny story. But he was saying, he was like, is Dewdrop gonna eat everybody? I was like, you're so bad. I was like, that's not okay to say. And it was all over my Facebook. And so I'm just like, that's not okay. But these 6 women, man, I don't know. Have you seen what the chamber looks like lately? Like when they redid it or whatever? It's not okay. It's not. It looks like padding, and it looks like we're playing in school and we're putting those blue mats everywhere. It's not okay. But I don't know how Bianca Belair did win that gauntlet match, which bravo to Rhea Ripley. She put on a show lasting 30 minutes, and Bianca Belair will enter at last. I don't know if you knew that from Monday Night Raw, but Bianca Belair will enter at last because she won the gauntlet match. So I don't know how the other 5 are gonna be in. Who do you think will start? Who do you think will be the 2 people to start this match? Oh, and I'm sorry, I forgot to mention the last member is Alexa Bliss. How could I forget about Alexa Bliss? They added her on Monday. I forgot about that. That's my bad. But yeah, the last member is Alexa Bliss. I thought it was gonna be Bailey, but I guess not. So yeah. But out of those 5 women or the 5 women, who do you think will be like the ultimate like Iron Woman of the Elimination Chamber that would start it and maybe be the final 2?
Probably Rhea Ripley. I probably think her and maybe almost superhero. Maybe
Almost a superhero. It's so funny. I can't.
Yeah.
He can't with it, man. I just can't with the almost a superhero, man. But
yeah,
I want Liv or Alexa to win. That's just because I love Alexa and Liv because they're my favorite, whatever. But yeah, I that's who I want to win. But I think that Bianca Belair is gonna win because when Becky returned at SummerSlam, she beat Bianca in what? I think it was like 13 seconds or something like that. It was like a short amount of time. And I think that's when they started setting it up. And I don't know why, Bianca main evented with Sasha last year. And I think that, she's going to get another opportunity. And I think that she's going to win this match. How do you feel? And who do you think is going to survive this this Raw Women's Elimination Chamber?
Usually with the women's wrestling for WWE is really it's pretty entertaining. I enjoy watching it.
Honestly,
I big fan of Riley Ripley. What she's been doing.
It's Rhea Ripley, not
Rhea Ripley. I don't know, like I said, Riley.
Riley.
Oh, why? Because my neighbor's daughter's Riley, and her last name. Okay. Yeah, so there you go. That's why. See her winning. I could see Alexa Bliss possibly winning. She's due for a run.
I hope she comes back as the goddess. I hope she doesn't come back or whatever the hell she's doing, whatever. And I know they probably won't, but I would just really like to see her return as the goddess. That's just
I agree. But yeah, like you said, you never know.
Who's your final pick to win this match?
Alexa Bliss. I think she wins.
Okay.
I want Rhea Ripley, but Alexa Bliss.
Hey, either way, if it's Rhea, Alexa, or Bianca, I'll take it. Just please do not let Dewdrop or Nikki superhero win. Well, I'll be throwing something, and the people in Dallas will be getting their money refunded for that awful booking.
I was there last month, man. They don't play around, them Dallas people.
So bad. But the next match, we spend a lot of time on the chamber, but that's okay because hopefully the chambers will be really good, and they better be because that's, the most dangerous pretend structure in WWE history.
Yep.
The next match on the card we're going to talk about, it is for the Universal Championship. It is Roman Reigns versus Oldberg. And, this match is a match that was supposed to happen 2 years ago at WrestleMania. But because of COVID and everything that Roman went through and everything, he had to back out and he was not able to compete. I was wondering where you went for a minute. I was like, where'd you go?
Sorry.
That's okay. But we have Roman versus Oldberg. And what do you think? This match lasts, 5 seconds? 5 minutes, maybe? I say 5 minutes at the most. What's your prediction? Because I'm saying Roman's gonna win in like 5 minutes. I don't think this match honestly will last longer than that.
When I saw Goldberg come out a few weeks ago and he been lifted his leg,
what I did.
I just like, man, this is bad because he's ruining his image that I had of him when he was in WCW.
Well, and that's the thing, I went back and watched all the documentaries and stuff, and just seeing that, he just ruined everything. And it just, and it's nice to hear from somebody it was actually probably what you were 15 at the time, probably when he was right around there. So it's nice to hear somebody actually grow up and watching that, because it's interesting to see that, because I'm just watching documentaries and they just slim through it. So,
I
But
was a part of his run, his 90, 100, I forget how long until Kevin Nash broke it. But yeah, that was the one of the most iconic things for WCW was having him come in and just bulldoze the whole competition. He won 2 belts. He had the US belt and the World Heavyweight Championship belt. And then now you're seeing him, he can't even lift his leg up, up to his, shoulder. It's bad, man.
It's
So
awful, man.
I just hope he doesn't embarrass himself. And like I said, for the people that have watched him growing up in my generation, see that and then just lose his, and diminish his, reputation.
It's awful. So we're obviously both taking Roman Reigns to win.
Yeah.
How long do you think it's gonna last, though? That's gonna be the prediction on this one.
Well, he can barely go maybe 15 minutes. So
yeah, they said his longest match was versus Bobby Lashley at the last Saudi Arabia event, and it was the only match since he returned to last over 10 minutes.
Yeah, like I said, it'd probably be a 15-minute match if that.
Yeah, if that, not even. I feel like it's gonna be like real quick. Roman's gonna put his ass, do the Superman punch, spear him, and call it a day. But now that we talked about it, and obviously Roman, he better go, bro. If Goldberg wins, I'm throwing something, and I'm not doing the Elimination Chamber post show. We're calling it a day. But hopefully Roman wins, and then we move on to the main event. But before we get to the main event, I want to talk about 2 things that is going on in the wrestling world that is very interesting. And one is something that I thought never would ever happen again. And that is Cody Rhodes left AEW and is apparently coming back home to WWE where it all started and where his dad made his name and he's got his own Dusty Cup and we got Gold Dust and everything. How do you feel about Cody Rhodes possibly coming back to WWE, especially because, like we talked about off camera, you're a lot more into AEW and Impact and everything like that more than WWE. Yeah. So how do you feel if Cody comes back to WWE?
I know it's been stuff that's been talked about, and actually the rumors are going to be false.
False?
There's a storyline that they're doing in AEW where he's going to be coming back as a heel. So with that, he's still under contract, so he's not going anywhere. It's just it's a storyline that they're doing for the next Revolution. Yeah, he'll show up probably with dark hair and have the whole bad guy.
He can come back with the mask. That would be great. I would laugh.
He looked a lot better. You didn't have to see his face.
But man, I don't know. I would love to see Cody come back to WWE, but like you said, that's probably exactly what it is. And if it is, then it's whatever. But I ain't gonna get my hopes up. I never do with WWE anymore because it's not worth it anymore. And people that get themselves worked up over it it's not worth it at all because it's not. But the other thing that I want to talk about before we get to the main event, and it is way long overdue. Finally, the first inductee of the 2022 Hall of Fame induction is the dead man, The Undertaker. I've watched almost everything. I'm sure you've remembered his whole career. The man's been around since 80, 90? When did he make his debut? I think that it's
80s.
Man, he's been around for generations. He's been around as long as Tom Brady's been around. I feel like it's wild. Tom Brady's retiring. Undertaker's going to the Hall of Fame. What's going on right now? But the dead man is finally going in where he rightly deserves. And I don't know if you know this, but the Hall of Fame will be taking place right after SmackDown, the Friday before WrestleMania. So that should be really interesting. And I have no idea who else is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, but I wanted to give a minute and give a second and talk about The Undertaker because he's been a living legend. Literally, he was there for my childhood, you growing up, everybody. Unless you live under a rock and you don't watch wrestling, then you should know who The Undertaker is. And honestly, you should know who he is, even if you don't watch wrestling. But with everything that he's done, what is your favorite match or moment or segment of The Undertaker? Your favorite character? Do you have like something that stands out that you're just like, remember from a child, last year, the bone, whatever it may be?
I'd have to say when he was feuding with Stone Cold Steve Austin during the Attitude Era, he had the what was it, the Sinister or
Sinister of Darkness.
yeah, so yeah, that group with Shane McMahon and Versa and Undertaker and Gangrel. It was it was an awesome little crew, and they had kidnapped Stephanie McMahon. And
Oh my God. I remember when it's kind of funny. I remember when they did that and watching that as a kid. Like, I remember just being like, oh my God, like, what is going on? Why is Stephanie? He was not okay.
And that was actually the time when Vince McMahon had begged Stone Cold to help him. And so back to the match, it was Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Undertaker in a buried match. And
Buried alive?
Yeah, buried alive match.
I think I've seen that a few times.
Yeah, is when he had the smoking skull belt, and he's standing over the grave, and he's drinking a beer, and he's holding up the belt, and all of a sudden there's a shovel that comes, behind him, and then Undertaker picks up the belt and holds up the smoking skull belt. I thought that was pretty awesome moment. So like things like that that I can remember are very iconic for me. It's going to be more of the championship belt matches. As you remember, I'm the belt guy, so anything that especially with my every belt has my favorite match with it. And Undertaker versus Kane versus Stone Cold versus The Rock was one of my favorite matches. It was a 4-way match on, I believe it was on like Monday Night Raw or something like that, or a pay-per-view.
And Monday Night Raw used to be so good. People don't understand, man.
Attitude Era.
It used to be come home from school, we do our homework, we get some food, and we watch Monday Night Raw. Now it's nap time.
But yeah, that was one of my iconic moments.
He's had so many matches that it's just like, it's wild, and it's crazy to think about like how long he's actually been around. And honestly, my favorite match of him has to be, I've like could go back and think of like so many, but for some reason, the one match that I have always like gravitated to, and I've seen probably like 50 or 60 times, is the two matches between him and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25 and 26. And I don't know why, but it was so funny when I was younger. I used to have all the DVDs. I literally timed myself. I knew how long the match was exactly at WrestleMania 25. I put it on my phone, and Undertaker won the 1, 2, 3 as soon as the timer went off. That's how obsessed I was with watching like those two matches back and forth. And I don't know why, but like there's been so many matches, and like you talked about, like the Buried Alive, and like I also loved like Kane and Undertaker when they had their rivalries in the Hell in the Cell and WrestleMania 20. And I always remember when Kane was like, oh my brother, and oh my God, and blah blah blah, what are we gonna do? And when Undertaker like did the dung at the Royal Rumble and everything. But man, he's just been around for so long that I just wanted to give a minute and talk about Undertaker, because he deserves it, and he's where he belongs, and he's never going anywhere. He better not fucking show up in AEW. Sorry for my language, but man, he shows up in AEW, I'm done. It's over. So before we continuously talk about the Undertaker, let's talk about the main event, and it is for the WWE Championship. And the 6 men that are competing in this Elimination Chamber is Bobby Lashley, the WWE Champion. We have Seth frickin' Rollins. We have Vince McMahon, baby boy now, or what, he's trying to replace Shane McMahon with Austin Theory. We have AJ Styles, the phenomenal one. And we have my man, my favorite guy, Matt Riddle. Hey, you know what? Man, I wish Riddle would win this. That'd be great. Let's have Riddle go to WrestleMania main event. Let's call it a day. I'm calling it now. Riddle's winning it all.
You got Riddle.
Riddle. And we also have the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. He's already won the Royal Rumble, the 2022 Royal Rumble. He's going to face Roman Reigns for the Universal title. And now he's trying to make it a title versus title match. Man, I swear to God, if Brock Lesnar wins this, it should not be a title versus title. It doesn't need it at all. At all. Like I
actually disagree with you. I think
then you tell me why, because I don't care what anybody says. I'm over this. You tell me why you think this match deserves, like, why it should be title versus title. Convince me, because I'm not convinced at all.
I have a theory / inkling that they want to unify the title so that they can make a new title
again. Is it gonna be the WWE Thunderdome Championship?
No, I think it's gonna be the Big Gold. I think they're gonna bring back
gold. Oh man, that would be brand. They bring back the Big Gold. I've always said Roman Reigns would look sick with that.
Yes.
And that would look deadly. That would be the only way they're allowed to do that. Only way.
So I convince you a little on that?
A little. If they bring back the Big Gold World Heavyweight Championship. Man, I have so many figures. It's disgusting how many World Heavyweight Championships. Like, I'm looking right now as I'm like looking around my room. I just see like 4 as I were just looking. It's ridiculous. Man, I love that title. But out of these 6 competitors, do you think who are you taking to win this match? Are you taking the obvious Brock Lesnar, or are you going to take an upset where you think something? Because we talked about it. There's supposed to be a swerve, and I don't know. I don't know what any of the swerve could be, and if it is, maybe it's this match.
I see Brock Lesnar winning, but I would love to see Seth Rollins win. I think his gimmick now that he's doing is catching the fans.
I think it finally developed, and this is what he was trying to do once he turned heel the night after Survivor Series, right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it took a while, but this is what he was trying to get to.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know who's going to win this, and obviously there's just everything with the title versus title. The only thing I hope that does not happen is Brock Lesnar eliminating everybody, and it's like a 5-minute chamber match or like a 25-minute chamber match where everybody enters and then Brock eliminates everybody. Like, that's not fun. Like, I want to watch everybody like throw each other through the chambers, rub their faces on the chains. Like, let's see blood, and, you know, God forbid, you know, we can't show blood because of the children nowadays. It was okay for me, but, you know, yeah. Man, it was not okay. So I want to take somebody else, but I'm just going to take Brock Lesnar, and I want to get one prediction right at least. Watch, maybe this will be the one I get wrong, but I'm going to take Brock Lesnar to win this match and be WWE Championship. And then we're going to see title versus title at WrestleMania, sadly. And that's just not okay. But I did want to say before we go on, before I let you go, because we've been talking about for a while, there was a story that I wanted to tell you about Undertaker. I kind of forgot. When I was little, when I would have WrestleMania parties, my dad's friends would come over, and I was scared of the Undertaker. I was just like, I don't know. I always thought the Undertaker was going to come and get me. And like, he was like the boogeyman, or I don't know. I was like a child. I was scared. So my dad's friend would start knocking on the door, ring the doorbell. And then as we're watching the WrestleMania and Undertaker's lights would go out, he would knock on the door, on the wall, as Undertaker was coming. So I would hide under the blanket and do like just everything. And then the one year when it was in Chicago, I thought Undertaker, after he was done beating Mark Henry, was going to come and put me in the casket. But I just thought that was funny, and I wanted to tell you, and I kind of forgot when we were talking about Undertaker. But yeah, so man, again, one more time, congratulations to the Undertaker for being first inductee into the Hall of Fame of 2022. Brandon, the belt guy, the Real Belt Collector. Thank you for joining me for
Thank you.
this Elimination Chamber pre-show. Are you gonna get up and are you gonna get up nice and early in the morning and watch it, or are you gonna watch it a little bit later once you get some sleep?
Yeah, I'm extremely exhausted. But I have my daughter, so I'll be up bright and early. So I'm sure
Gotta love the kids getting up for school. That's the one thing I don't miss.
It's the weekend, so she's on two. So
That's
she's
right, man.
not doing the school thing yet. Thank gosh.
True. Well, again, thank you, Brandon, for joining me. One
Thank you.
more time, if you want to tell everybody where to follow you and to go subscribe, and like if you want to tell everybody your handles and everything real quick.
Yeah, if you guys want to go follow me on Facebook, my company name is Snaps and Straps Inc. I also have Instagram page at the Real Belt Collector. Go and follow me there. Like he has said, I have a new company that I'm with right now. It's a Terminus right here. It's going to be old school grappling wrestling. It's a new promotion that Jonathan Gresham from Ring of Honor has started. It's out of Georgia. The first pay-per-view did phenomenal. It was sold out. It's going to be on Fight TV February 24th. A lot of big names are going to be on that card. Jay Lethal is going to be on that card also. But yeah, great card. But yeah, just go and follow me, check me out, see my work. I've made belts for a lot of Impact wrestlers. Have a few indie promotions I work for. But yeah, if you guys see me in the crowd at Impact Wrestling, I'm always in the front row, chilling with all the belts across the rail. So if you guys see me, like I said, give me a holler.
Look for the guy with all the belts.
just look for me there, man. But yeah, man, appreciate you having me on, man.
Hey, I also in the beginning, before you came on, I told everybody that I ordered some stuff from you. So watch out and look forward to that future episode of the Tino's Time collection series, where I continue to show you all the messed up and crazy things I get and continue to add to my collection where I maybe shouldn't need to. I hope everybody enjoyed this show, enjoyed the Elimination Chamber pre-show, and everybody will go smash that subscribe button, go like and follow, and help your boy Tino out at Tino's Time 1996. I hope everybody enjoys this Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Hopefully it's good and it lives up to the hype. And for the love of God, Oldberg doesn't win the Universal Championship. And until we recap everything that went down at the Elimination Chamber, this is your boy Tino and the belt guy, Brandon, signing out.